And I was just currently thinking about Woody Allen when you talked about loving sheep.
Yeah,
And
well, I like all these people. You know, I love Mel Brooks. You know, and Woody Allen and all this kind of comedy.
the funny story of the world I was also just jumping in my head, which was in the 80s, in the very early 80s, and I just recently saw it. I thought, like, my God, how avant-garde was Mel Brooks at that time doing that, and I absolutely loved it.
Mel Brooks is a Tiger Lillies fan. He came and saw a show, Tiger Lillies show, and we wrote the music for, which was called Shock-Headed Peter, Struble Peter, and he came and saw it, and he said it was the best musical he'd seen since the Threepenny Opera. So that was quite a nice thing for him to say. Or the best musical written since the Threepenny. So Mel was a big fan, and I said as he left the dressing room, I said, it's a bit like having God come to visit you in your dressing room. And apparently, I didn't know if he had overheard it or not, but apparently a friend of his later told me that he had actually overheard me saying that it was like God having visiting me. And it really is, because I mean, for me, the ultimate kind of audience reaction is the audience reaction when, in the producers, they're singing "Springtime to Hitler," and the whole audience is sitting there as they're performing this wonderful song, "Springtime for Hitler," with all this wonderful choreography, and they're all kind of, like doing Sieg Heil and all this kind of stuff, and it's fantastic. You actually sit, and then they cut to the audience, and the whole audience are there with their mouths open like this, and that's my kind of that's really what I want to do with my music.
Shake them awake.
I want to make them kind of have them open their mouths in disbelief. And funnily enough, one of the songs you've mentioned, "Sex with Flies," we have this thing with the Tiger Lillies where we don't actually rehearse. So I just walk onto the stage, and I start singing a new song I've written, and the Adrians don't actually know, that I've written this new song. And when I sang "Sex with Flies" for the first time, Adrian fell off his drum stool. So that's which I was very proud of. The fact that I'd actually made him fall off of his drum stool. Because of this song I'd written. So we're that's what we're into, really. We're into that sort of Mel Brooks type.
You like to provoke.
Yeah, and amuse, and obviously make people laugh ultimately, and also we want to make them cry, and all the sort of other emotions that human beings have. We want to.
Is it a little bit like not taking yourself too serious, or too serious? Is the world too serious for you currently?
Well, I think it's nice not to take yourself too seriously, isn't it? I mean, we probably all do. I know I do. I take myself too seriously sometimes. I think I take myself too seriously in interviews sometimes. And then I look back at them and think, like that was I was a bit boring in that interview.
Blowjobs, all I ever do. Poor old fat ones I disapprove. With his hand jobs, something blue, something kinky, it I do. All those blowjobs, what a taste. All that saliva that I waste. Up my anus, I take it. I could have been a rocket scientist. Blowjobs, all I ever do. Blowjobs, that's what I do. Blowjobs, all I ever do.
So we talked about your issues when you sing or when you write songs, which are rather three-penny opera provoking style. What are your next project? What will we expect tonight? Is there anything like going ahead with the Mountain of Madness?
No, I think that's probably that's they all have their life. These projects that we do, there's we've done we do all these different shows and they're exciting and great when you do them, and then I guess they have their life, and then you move on to something else. So I guess it was a great show, and I really enjoyed doing it, and but it's probably lived its life now.
Okay.
Unless of course somebody was to make some fantastic offer, some producer was to make some fantastic offer and say, I want to tour if somebody said to me I want to tour the Mountains of Madness in the United States of America, and and fantastic PR, and obviously we'd be interested.
Of course.
We're always interested in doing carrying on with any kind of the projects we've done, but it's just really they have a life in the sense that you're invited to play them in the places in the world where you're known, I guess. You play them there, and then next time you go back to that city, they want something new, So we've done Mountains of Madness in most of Europe now, and never did it in the United States, but we've done it in most of Europe, several countries in Europe now, and I don't think that that probably there's that many more places that are interested in booking it. So it's just sort of naturally, natural.
Where do you get your your energy from? I mean, you're very powerful. You're very emotional. You're very into depth when you kind of be in the phase when you play your music. Where do you get the energy from? Because
we're not. I'm sitting down now. I've got a bar stool on the front of the stage, and I've got a bad leg. I'm not. I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm particularly. I don't think I'm that energetic. I mean, it's tough. It's tiring. Just the travelling is tiring. Going from place to place. We do something like 200 shows a year or something. So it is tiring. All the travelling and moving from country to country. But I don't know. I mean, it's my job, isn't it? I'm not sure. If you were to ask, you could probably go to a baker, or a coal miner, or a factory worker. Probably some of them, I'll probably last about a week if I was to do their job. So I'm not really sure that I'm not really sure that I have. My job is only more tiring than a lot of people's jobs. You know what I mean? But I don't. I'm not. I just have to do it. It's what I do for a living, and sometimes I drag myself around, like death warmed up. But if you